Welcome to The Explainer. Today we are diving into a story that pretty much questions everything we thought we knew about running, about injury, and about what the human body is truly capable of.
It all kicked off with this one simple, nagging question. A question that came from a place of real pain. The author, a dedicated runner, was suddenly just sidelined. He described the feeling as an invisible ice pick driving straight up through the sole of his foot. Ouch!
So he did what you'd expect. He went to see the country's top sports doctors, but every single fix they recommended failed. And he started to realize that his pain wasn't just his problem. It was one piece of a much, much bigger puzzle that so many runners face.
That's when he stumbled upon this really strange paradox. We have this massive, multi-billion-dollar industry creating these ever more cushioned, ever more high-tech shoes. And yet, up to 80%, 80, of all runners get injured every single year. How does that even make sense? Well, the medical establishment seemed to have an answer, and it was basically that, we just weren't built for it. They saw the human body as fragile and distance running as a surefire way to completely destroy it. But here's the thing. What if they were all wrong? What if millions of years of evolution knew something they didn't? The hunt for a real answer took him far away from any high-tech lab. It led him to one of the most remote, rugged, and honestly dangerous places on the entire planet, Mexico's Copper Canyons. You see, tucked away in this treacherous landscape, there's this reclusive tribe known as the Tarahumara. And their name, it literally translates to the running people. And believe me, it's for a very good reason. The Tarahumara are absolute legends. They're said to run distances that would completely crush an elite marathoner, often just for fun, and in shoes that are little more than thin sandals. They can supposedly chase down a deer until it just collapses from pure exhaustion. They were running free, and they were running without pain.
So how on earth do they do it? Well, the author's journey revealed that their incredible abilities weren't magic. Nope, they were based on just a few core principles that we modern runners seem to have completely forgotten.
So, the Tarahumara way really comes down to three things: minimalist footwear, a really joyful and light running form, and a diet of ancient superfoods. Let's start with their fuel, because honestly, it's a total game changer. Before they head out on one of their epic runs, they drink this really simple concoction. Now, it looks a little weird, kind of like gooey slime with frog eggs in it, but it's basically an ancient energy gel. I mean, chia seeds are a nutritional powerhouse. They're just jam-packed with omega-3s, protein, and fiber. All this stuff gives you a slow, steady release of energy, which is perfect for endurance. And this is nothing new. The Aztecs were using these tiny seeds to fuel their warriors and messengers centuries ago.
The secrets of the Tarahumara actually pointed to a much bigger idea, something that's now known as the Running Man theory.
A growing number of scientists are starting to believe it's the latter. They're arguing that early humans didn't survive because we were the strongest or the fiercest predators out there. We survived because we evolved to be the best long-distance runners on the planet, period.
Think about our evolutionary cousins, the Neanderthals. They were stronger, they had bigger brains. But they were built for the cold, built for ambushing prey in forests. So when the climate warmed up and the forests shrank into open plains, their brawny builds actually became a liability. Our slender frames, on the other hand, were built for endurance, and that gave us the edge.
I mean, our own anatomy is proof of this theory. We have these long Achilles tendons that act like springs, storing and releasing energy. We have big glute muscles for stability that you don't really need for just walking. We even have this unique ligament in our necks just to keep our heads steady when we're on the move. We are, for all intents and purposes, air-cooled engines designed to run for hours and hours. This was our superpower. While other animals are way faster in a sprint, they can't shed heat like we can by sweating. So early humans could just run an animal for hours under the hot sun until it literally collapsed from overheating. We could outrun almost anything over a long enough distance. So, how does all of this connect back to that first really painful question, how come my foot hurts?
Well, here's the revolutionary idea. Maybe our expensive, cushioned shoes are the actual problem. Think about it. They act like casts, preventing the hundreds of muscles and tendons in our feet from doing their job, so our feet get weak. The shoes encourage this heavy, heel-first landing that sends a shockwave up the leg, instead of the light, forefoot strike we're designed for. Our form gets sloppy, and we get injured.
So the big takeaway here isn't that we need better technology to help us endure running. It's that running is our technology.
It's a skill we were born with, this joyful expression of our own evolutionary heritage that's been buried under layers of foam and marketing.
And that's really the powerful idea Born to Run leaves us with. It suggests that the ability to run long, to run joyfully, and to run without injury isn't something you have to buy. It's something you just have to rediscover.